Welcome to Unlock Your Wellbeing, the podcast that teaches you the simple keys to health and happiness so that you can grow as a human being into a well-being. And now here's your host, author, certified wellness coach, mother and wife, Alisha Leytem. Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Unlock Your Wellbeing with Alisha Leytem. I'm super excited and pumped to be recording this podcast episode for you guys today. I thought it would be really fun to share with you some of my favorite tips to create a high vibe, fun, uplifting, inspiring workspace, since many of us are working from home or still working from home, or maybe you're transitioning into going back into the office and you want to make sure that the office you're working in is a place you want to be in. And so these are some tips that are going to really help to amplify the space into being one that feels good to be in and a place that feels inspiring to you and reduces a lot of your stress, makes you feel super grateful and a lot more focused, because there's a lot of research out there that tells us how important our environment and our surroundings are to our sense of well-being and our ability to be focused or unfocused. Believe it or not, there's quite a bit of really cool research out there. There's also a lot of research sharing how important it is that we feel good and inspired by the space that we're working in. So, for example, have you ever felt like when you were working on some kind of project or you had to bust out some work that you just needed a change of scenery and you had to go somewhere else in order to get that done? And let's say you leave your office and you go to that super cute, vibey coffee shop down the street. And once you got there, you were able to knock out whatever it is you were doing because you were just so inspired and felt really good being in a new environment. That's what I mean by your environment really influencing how it is that you're feeling. So when I moved into my current home that I bought last spring, one of the first things that me and my husband did was decide which rooms were going to be for our own corresponding offices. And I went to work on designing our offices. Now, my office is more of like a zen, calm, vibey office. It has always been like that in any office that I've ever created or designed for myself. And my husband's, if you guys know him, Michael, founder and author of Catching Leadership, his has always been fish themed because he thrives around fishing. He loves fishing. Clearly, he's found a way to, teach about leadership through fishing. It's one of his favorite hobbies. Like, if he could fish all day, every day, he would. In fact, he's probably going to be getting a boat and calling it the office at some point. Anyway, for the last 10 years, every office he's had in different positions before he started his own business and in any home we've had have all been fish themed. And the reason I'm telling you this is because it's super important to him that when he walks into that room, that inspires him, right? That helps him get in the zone, that makes him feel really good. And you're just surrounded by the things that are authentic to you, right? And so that's an extreme example, right? You might not have a hobby that you love that much that you want it to be, your office theme, but there are some things that are going to really help to improve the energy of your space by doing these 5 tips that I have. Pray in the space, in your office space, as often as possible. And here's why. We know that where you meditate, the location that you meditate at, it actually improves the energy of that space. So home, in this case, we're talking about your office, to feel very uplifted and vibey and calm. And you walk into that room and you just feel that instant, after you are leaving a meditation, you then want to meditate in that space. It's a very cool, easy free thing to do. So make sure that you meditate and pray in your office space as often as possible. I even encourage, if you have ever attended a workshop of mine or any kind of training of mine around mindfulness at work, I always talk about how before you do anything, when you sit at your desk, staying in your chair, just turn on your timer on your phone and meditate quickly before you turn on and dive into work. Do that right on your desk, and you're going to, raise the energy in the space. And it's a very easy place to do it. You don't have to go on the floor or create an additional space within your office. You can do it right on your office chair. So make sure you're doing that quite often. It's going to help a lot. Okay. The next thing that you want to really consider doing is bringing in some real plants into your space. It's very important that they're real and not fake plants. I'm not totally opposed to fake plants, but the reason that you want to keep real plants in your office is because a recent study found that when you have real plants in your office space, like you can see them in your view, it's been found to reduce stress and negative feelings by up to 58%. That's crazy. Think about that. You can reduce your stress and negative feelings by almost 60% just by keeping a real plant in your office. So just do it. Just bring in a cute plant, get a couple of them, and maybe set an intention to buy one every other month for the rest of the year or something. And then what you can do as part of your ritual when you step into your office is tend to your plants, right? Water them, talk kindly to them, because also there are studies that show when you talk kindly to your plants that they do better. So, same thing can go to us. Talk kindly to yourself. You'll do better. You'll thrive more. And also, of course, it cleans the air by simply just having real plants in a room. So make sure you do that. I have several in my office and am planning on getting more this spring. So get yourself some plants, okay? Okay, so in addition to having some real plants in the office, the other thing you want to do to think about is to bring in the element of scent, okay? Because the part in our brain that is connected to our sense of smell is a very, very powerful part. And when we're smelling a certain scent, this can actually activate a certain emotion or a certain feeling. It can make you feel more calm. And so using that powerful sense that we have to your advantage, using certain smells can put you in a certain emotional state that you want to be in. Therefore, if you are bringing in a certain smell to feel a certain way, then you're going to raise the energy and the feeling in your room, in your office. So let's say you want to feel happier in your office. Well, studies show that when you diffuse citrus oils, so oils like orange or lemon, bergamot, any of these citrus oils, they're really well known to help you feel happier, right? There's also some essential oils you can diffuse to make you feel more alert or focused or awake. So those are typically more like mint oils. So spearmint or peppermint, any like tree oils as well, like Douglas fir. Those can help you to feel more focused and alert on what it is that you are doing. The other thing that you can do if you don't want to diffuse essential oils is maybe you want to consider lighting some incense and having that going on in your office. We all know how like calming it feels to walk into a cool store that has some incense going and there's like some crystals on in there, right? Like it feels like a really cool, calm place to be in. And so you can bring that energy into your office as well, right? So you can have some incense going. You can have some toxic-free candles going as well if that's your vibe. I prefer to either have a diffuser of oils going because not only is it cleaning the air and it's really healthy for you when you have proper quality oils, but I like to always bring in and connect with the power of nature when I can, and that is like pure nature in my office, right? Another thing with the element of smell that you can do is consider saging your office every so often, right? So getting yourself a bundle of sage and then lighting that baby up and cleansing your office, right? This is a really cool way to kind of get any negativity or negative energy, or even if you just want like a fresh start after you submit a proposal or you finish a project and it's just time to like clean things up. You can walk around your room, sage it up, and then make sure when you do that you keep a window open so that all of that smoke and the negative energy can kind of go out the window with it. But it's also a really cool way to bring in that kind of energy through your sense of smell in the office as well. So my next tip I kind of mentioned a little bit just a second ago, but it's super important that you keep your office tidy, organized, and clean. And everything from your closet to your drawers to your desk top, right? The space on your desk, and even your desktop on your computer, right? Like the files on your computer itself sitting right there on your desktop. All of this matters because your external space typically is a reflection of what's going on in your mental chatter, right? So if you look around the space of the room that you're in when you're listening to this, and if it just looks like a complete disaster or a mess, ask yourself if you've been feeling like that on the inside, right? And so a really great way to clean that up inside is to externally clean everything up and kind of get rid of that stagnant energy and move things around by cleaning and organizing and putting things in their proper place is going to help you to feel so much more organized and clear when you do sit down to work. So this is something I do very regularly is I clean off my desktop on my computer, at the end of the week or, sometimes at the end of the month, just kind of clean it off, get everything clean and organized, cleaning up my desk as almost daily, right? I can absolutely tell when I've been like hard into a project, like my book for the editing process recently. Like I have just tons of notes and like books and I'm like, oh, I want to reference that quote from this book, and like all my books off my bookshelf and like just everywhere spread out. And then I have, mugs on my desk and water glasses and just, paper towels and whatever from snacks that I'm bringing downstairs to continue to work, right? Like that's cool. That's a reflection of the work I've been doing. But to bring the energy back up and clean things up and help me when I come in to then stay more focused, making sure that everything is really clean and organized. If you're having a hard time staying organized in your office, then that is always an indicator that you have too many things, okay? So if you have a hard time being organized, period, then what you need to do is downsize and get rid of things so that you have less things to organize, and then it will be easier to stay organized, okay? So super important to clean and declutter as often as possible. Spring cleaning vibes right around the corner, right? So that could be a really cool time to align with nature and dive into the natural element of, spring cleaning into your office with you. And my final tip for you guys is to surround yourself with inspiring quotes or affirmation cards, okay? So I always have my deck of affirmation cards. I have like a whole part on my bookshelf for it. And every day before work, I will pull an affirmation card, and then I'll keep that right there in front of me on my desk, so I can look at it regularly and remind myself of that affirmation, right? I also make sure that the things that I hang on my walls are authentic and they make me feel inspired, okay? In order to do your best work, you need to feel inspired. If you don't feel inspired by your space, then you want to do what you need to change it up. Do what you have to do, right? Get a new cute rug, paint the office, toss things out. Painting the office, honestly, is one of the easiest ways to have like a really big transformation. But if any picture doesn't make you feel good, then lovingly get rid of it, right? Or if you know that you want to look at something regularly, make that a point to bring that in. I also, with some of my my framed artwork, I have some artwork of a forest, because if you guys have been listening to this podcast, and part of my 6 keys and my 6 gold keys to well-being book that's coming out very soon is the power of nature. And so keeping that right in the forefront is really powerful to reducing stress and negativity, and just having that in your space. In fact, that is one way to bring nature into your office if you don't have access to actually getting out into nature quite often, is to bring as much nature into your room as you can, such as the plants or even pictures of nature. I do both of those, right? So my affirmation card that I have sitting on my desk right in front of me right now is, I am able to balance all of my responsibilities with ease and grace. So think about how good it feels to look at an affirmation like that throughout your day, right? Feels so good. So surround yourself with positive affirmation cards, and keep your room just a very positive, uplifting environment and space with all 5 of these tips, you guys. I can't wait to hear which one or multiple of these that you take to heart and do yourself, for whether it's your home office or your office, if you're heading back into the office, because I know many people are. Use this as a fresh opportunity and a fresh start to be really grateful for the space that you have, and let yourself transform it into a place that feels inspiring, so that you can feel inspired in the room you're in, feel really good, and allow yourself to use that energy to do really good work in the world that you are here to do. Super important. And I promise you, you will also see massive results when you meditate regularly in your space. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I would love to hear from you. If you really like this episode, please leave me a review on iTunes. You can give us 5 stars on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you have a question for an upcoming episode, you can look in the show notes and leave a question for me to answer. Or if you have a podcast episode suggestion that you would like me to talk on, I'm happy to hear that as well. And if you are not on our book signing or our book launch list, please make sure to go get on it. There's so many exciting things that are happening, even just this week. I cannot wait to tell this story of all of these amazing things that have happened here in the near future. But the book is going to be coming out very soon, you guys. We've been working so hard on it, and I'm so proud of it. And I just know you guys are going to love it. I hope you do as much as I do. So head to AlishaLeytem.com and sign up to be notified of when the book is going to be released, and you'll get a free gift from me. Actually, what you're going to get is one of my exclusive Spotify playlists that is for the gold key of sleep. So this playlist is really powerful for playing in the hour before, as you're winding down for bed, to really help you release the day, release your stress, and get out of day mode and into preparing your body for sleep. It's a really cool playlist. I've been listening to it and using it in my yoga classes and in my nighttime routine and with my clients for a very long time. So I think you're going to love it. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you guys next time, and have a great rest of your day. Namaste.